everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Chevron Locked podcast. We are lucky enough to bring you an interview with really one of the most prolific Stargate fan fiction writers I've ever met. We have him on the line here. He is CGH57. Is that what you go by on fanfiction.net and all that?
Yeah, that's what I go by, yeah.
Fantastic. So I am joined also by BC. We are here to just see what we can wring from CGH and get some information from him.
How are you doing, bud?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
So, let's get started. Why do you write Stargate fanfiction? I think is the biggest question I'd have for you to start.
Well, it's one of the best fan fictions you can do, I think. I mean, all the others are like Supernatural and Glee. They're boring, but...
True enough.
Well, yeah.
You know, it is a big world to pull from. This is one of the things I say on the podcast all the time. It is one of the things that has the most to explore that, frankly, in the show, they don't always explore to the fullest.
Well, no, they don't. I think you got 3 series across the entire universe to choose from, so you can go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, speaking of the 3 series, just very generalized, do you have a favorite? Do you have like one series that you tend to pull from the most?
It's a bit of a mix between SG-1 and Atlantis, to be honest.
Okay, just not much of the universe, the Stargate universe, or do you just find that there's more material to work with, if you would, with SG-1?
There's more material, yeah, because Universe is just 2 series, and they haven't really got much to go on apart from the drones and the blue aliens, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, there is a almost an too open space there for you to work in, and I wouldn't know where to go personally. But I do like what you've done with your fan fiction, The Fifth Race, and sort of pulled everything together into it. How far ahead do you plan what you're doing?
Well, I've actually planned it to about 400,000 words already. Just got to get to that point.
And how much have you written at this point?
Just up until now, so about 140-odd thousand.
Wow. So you get about
Holy
4
cow.
times. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm having for lunch today.
Well, trust me, I cannot wait to get to it.
Any idea how long it's going to take you to get to that point?
Say about 2 years.
And how long have you been writing this up to this point?
A little over a year now, so... Because I didn't put it all up straight away. I put the first chapter out and then gave it a week, put another one. Went on from there.
How I mean, I know that you've gotten a lot of great feedback from the Stargate community itself, but how long before did you really start seeing like some people interested and people actually downloading it and interacting with you? Was it pretty quick?
It was pretty quick, yeah, because I did upload it before I did the original one now, and it did get some good feedback, but the story just had something missing. So I took it down and then re-uploaded it, and it was a lot better.
That's amazing. Do you send this through beta readers, or is this all just like first draft, or I don't know, at this point, second draft that you alone have worked on?
I do it myself, but if anyone wants to be a beta reader, then by all means I can send it, yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So if you guys want to have a look, then that'd be alright by me.
Well, I'll take you up on that. Where could anybody reach you? What's the best way for people to find you for something like that?
Probably just say fan fiction, really. Just send me a message, anything.
Very nice. We'll have links in the show notes. So, how long ago did you start watching Stargate?
When it first released. We had about 4 channels on TV, and it was just one of them come home from school. It would just be Stargate.
I'm okay. If I only had 4 channels to choose from, I'd be very happy that SG-1 was one of those being broadcast.
Well, it was the early days of television, and it was one of the best shows on, so...
I can't argue with you at all.
No, that is amazing.
Well, you have to make do with what you have. I mean, the rest of it was just news and kids shows. Didn't really have anything that stood up to it.
Is this the only fan fiction that you've written is just for SG1, or did you start out writing other stuff?
Well, I have got another story called A Memory of War, which is an Atlantis-based one, which you might have seen.
Okay.
I've seen it. I haven't read it yet, though.
Well, it's not exactly one that's set in the now. It's more about 10,000 years before. So the beginning of the Wraith War.
Oh, like a prequel. That's fascinating.
So like the dawn of the Wraith.
Yeah, I generally hate prequels because of what George Lucas did to Star Wars, but
God,
I think in your case I'll give it a pass.
Oh, I had a chill go right up my spine as soon as you said that. Jar Jar. No.
Snoke is Jar Jar.
God, not that.
Yeah.
But Mace Windu.
No, listen, Mace Windu did not survive that fall, no matter what you say. I'm sorry.
But can we agree that is some amazing like fan connection stuff right there?
Well, if we see him with a robot arm, then it could be him.
When I first saw a story about that or somebody trying to connect those dots, I was a little bit blown away. I was like, "Good for you, man!" Like that you're pulling for strings, but that is awesome. That is a hell of a connection.
See, I think that fan theories like that are very much like fan fiction, which I absolutely love. But I think a lot of fan theories are starting to ruin TV because there's too many really smart people focused on picking apart all of this stuff. And it starts to get to the point where they are predicting movies years ahead of time or TV shows years and seasons ahead of time. And so it makes the writers change what they're doing, and it makes the writers have to lie to people. Like, spoiler alert, the ending of Lost, which for years and years people had guessed it, and the writers and the producers and all that came out and said, no, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that, and then it turns out being exactly that. But I like the idea of taking that universe and making it exist beyond what was written in a way that isn't going to be written with fan fiction like what you do.
Well, the moment you get a fan involved, it will kick off once more people get joined into it, which is where my story is going to be going, I think.
Very nice.
So, what other sci-fi genre do you? I'm guessing you enjoy sci-fi.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What else out there, either in the past or something maybe that you're watching now, that you also enjoy?
Well, Firefly for sure. That's definite.
Absolutely.
You can't beat it, for me, honest.
Really?
No.
I could never get into Firefly.
What? Really?
Yeah, I watched like the first 3 episodes, and just the weird Western aspect got to me, and I couldn't watch it. I saw the movie, but I didn't get beyond the 3 episodes.
I think but I think that's kind of what drew me in was the Western aspect of it, because looking at space, you kind of get that wild frontier feel sometimes, and I think that with Joss Whedon, what he did was just really just hammered that home. Like, this is the wild, wild west,
Well, it's not something you really expect to find in outer space, really, is it?
No, it's not. But I think it worked, though. Like,
yeah, it did, yeah.
Joss Whedon can make just about anything work, though.
It's Joss Whedon, but that's okay.
Oh, Lord.
No, and I did like in the movie that it was like zombies and Wild West and space, and it kind of worked. It was weird, but it worked. I don't know. I'll give it another shot. Like I think that's it's a good enough recommendation that I'll try again.
Absolutely, it's worth it. It's worth it.
So for me, anything with Star in it is sort of a good show. Star Wars, Star Trek.
So, we're gonna go off topic just for a quick second because I am curious. Out of the Star Trek runs, what was your favorite?
Well, I'm on Deep Space Nine at the moment, and I've got to say, I think that is one of my favourites.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that 100%.
The Dominion has just started, and it's just brilliant.
Kevin and I have talked about Deep Space Nine a couple of times, and yeah, Next Generation has to be mine. But Deep Space Nine, I'm finally getting back into and starting to re-enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, Deep Space Nine was like a dirtier, grittier Star Trek, and so I can see why that would appeal. Like, it had flaws, it had, darker themes, darker messages, and just like there was dirt and there was destruction and there was death in a way that you don't really get in the Next Generation. It was way too pristine, way too clean. And the same thing with Voyager, sadly. Even after all of that, it was very, very clean, very antiseptic, not a lot of death, not a lot of destruction, despite being trapped.
Yeah. Well, and the one thing they had in common was kind of a Stargate.
Well, yeah, wasn't it the pipe? What was it? Can't remember what the Borg were using to get around, but
the oh wow, those fucking tunnel type of things.
Yeah.
Conduits.
Conduits.
Which,
There you go.
Which were very much like a Stargate type of plot device.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, little MacGuffin. And they had the same thing with the teleporter. The Stargate is really just a glorified teleporter from the ships. It's just a cheap way to get to a different planet so that the producers don't have to show you the ships and things like that.
But when you get to the ships, it is good.
True enough.
It is. That's the one thing about Stargate that I'm kind of waiting on, because again, it's been so long since I've seen this run that I'm anxious to get back to more of the spaceship territory of the show. I do love the show, but I can't wait to get to some of the Asgard ships and fleets and stuff like that.
Yeah, it does make them much more powerful and opens up a lot more. So what was your favorite episode of Stargate?
It's a difficult one.
I imagine.
For me, though, it has to be Window of Opportunity.
Window of Opportunity. Which one was that? Give me the general overview.
Tilk and Jack get stuck in a time loop.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, that is one of my favorites upcoming.
Now, is that the one? No, is that the one where Jack's hitting golf balls into the Stargate?
Yep.
He yells right in the middle of my backswing. Yeah, that is a fantastic episode.
I just love how they take the opportunity to do stuff which they normally wouldn't get away with otherwise.
Yeah, very Groundhog Day, that episode.
So something that Kevin and I talk about, what we've called the filler episodes. How do you like those? Do you prefer Stargate when they're more of the story, like the overall story-driven episodes, or do you like those standalone episodes peppered in there?
Well, I think every show has to have some episodes here and there which don't necessarily follow on from all the main bits. Because otherwise there just wouldn't be much else for them to focus on.
No,
yeah.
And I agree. And the one thing I will say so far in our podcast, and we're only halfway through season 3 right now, is that the filler episodes have gotten better in terms of the quality of the standalone episode. Like the first season, there were some ones that you just kind of, I had to fight my way through a little bit. But season 2, season 3, even the standalone ones have gotten so much better.
But I think season 1, everybody knows that one episode. We just don't want to mention it.
Pretty much. Yeah, they're trying to find their stride.
Yeah.
They are. And they bring in a bunch of different writers, and I think by 2 and 3, well, I think that's a common thing for a lot of TV shows that start to get into the deep runs, though,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. They have to find a writer that can hold up to the promise that they want to give to us watching it.
Yeah, it's about singular vision. And it's about also having some of those older episodes to then build off of. And you then know how your characters would act and react to things like that. And it really lets you envision them and move on from there.
Well, even if they are filler episodes, they do occasionally talk about it later on. So they're not forgotten, they're just there.
Yeah. And that's always been my argument, is that you often get that filler episode that has just some like emotional growth for the character, or you find out that they have a sister and it's just mentioned in passing, and then that comes back later, and things like that they then build on.
And think the biggest one there would be Vacation or Holiday. I'm sorry, Holiday, where you got the not Holiday, the episode where we got the teleporting mirror.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, because that did it was a standalone episode initially, and then they did bring it back again for a bigger story arc later on, and that's the one thing I will say about this show and its filler episodes is like you said, you know, it may touch on something for a filler, but they will come back to it. Well, the chances are they will come back to it and really expand a little bit more.
Well, filler episodes, they also have the characters which they can bring back at any time they want. It's just the episode is just forgotten about.
Yep. It's just kind of put on the shelf until they need to bring that back. You know, either the character or an item from that show, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and in a sort of meta way, it's kind of nice that they shot this in Vancouver and used a lot of just character actors, because those actors live there and they can bring them back as needed to fill those roles.
Or other roles.
Yeah, well, and you're exactly right. I think it's really funny going through the listings sometimes and seeing that you had a character that plays 9 different guys over the course of 10 years on this show.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's one that played a bounty hunter for the Lucian Alliance, and then he was in Universe as Varro.
Yep.
I can't remember the other character he played, but I know he was in something.
Yeah, we just came across one couple of episodes ago where he was in SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe, and I think this was the first time. I mean, we've seen a couple that cross over. This is the first time we've seen someone that plays 3 different characters in the 3 different series. I'll have to look up who it was.
Even I can't remember who that was. And I have a pretty good memory of Stargate.
All right. So, BC, was there anything else you wanted to ask before we...
No. He was fantastic of answering the questions that I did have.
Yeah, so the only other thing I wanted to just lightly touch on, because I haven't watched them yet, but I just wanted to get your impressions on the episodes we're going to be talking about on next week's episode of Chevron Locked. We're going to be talking about Pretense, Ergo, and 100 Days. Anything you remember about those 3?
Well, I remember Ergo. I remember that one because it's just...
How can you not remember that?
It's sort of the character where you have that annoying voice in your head, but you just can't see the person saying it. But in that episode, you can, and it's annoying, and you want to shoot yourself.
Oh, I was actually going to watch our episodes last night, and I decided not to because we've got almost a week before we record again, so I can't watch them this far out, or else I tend to forget them. So.
Yeah, I know. I was working until 9 last night. I didn't get to bed until 1 because of other stuff I was working on, so I'm going to record my other podcast after this and then go to bed. I want to thank you very much for coming on, doing this interview for us. I'm very excited. I really appreciate it. I'm going to put links down in the show notes for everyone to be able to read what you do and get in touch with you and talk about it. Any final words for everybody?
Well, thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of my story.
Yes, I just wanted to say thanks again for what Kevin just said. We really appreciate your time today, gratefully, and I definitely look forward to more of your fan fiction myself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Chevron Locked. As always, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Chevron Podcast, emailing us at thechevronlocked@gmail.com, or join us on our subreddit at Chevron Locked.